It's supposed to be. I don't know what the exact, because every day they throw something out there like Best Friend Day and National Hot Dog Day and all that. But it's Black Woman Excellence Day here at the Reach Show. I'm gonna tell you why. This young lady to the left of me, the right of y'all, has been on so many platforms talking about this amazing product that she has that is just bringing joy to the community. She's been on Porsche. She's been on all types of news stations. She's been on your radio. She's been in publications, and now she's in the Sugar Factory. We're going to talk about that too. It's Her Wine is in the building, a.k.a. Mr. Cole. What's going on, Miss Lady?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. So I see you just out here selling libations.
Man, I'm selling joy in a bottle.
Yeah, I like how you put that. So every time I go to like a family function and event, right? Mm-hmm. The aunties, the mamas, they pulling out their wine glasses. Sometimes they bring them from home. They got the little dangly things at the bottom, but it seems like wine is something that's a constant within our community when it comes down to celebrations. Yeah. Or if we're trying to be in remembrance of someone, or if we're just trying to have a good time in general, right? Yeah. Now, you said, I'm not going to the store no more. I'm making my own.
Period.
How did this come about?
Honestly, it's really, really funny. I fell into wine. Wine found me.
Hold on now. You just can't fall into wine. Maybe you fall into the bucket of grapes that make wine, but how did you fall into wine?
I literally started making wine at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not legal. I'm just playing.
Right? Selling is not legal. That's where the structure came in. Right. You can make it all day. Put it in your backyard, do what you do. But yeah, no, I started out corporate woman, was marketing, worked my way up through the career. And wine was just a part of my like weekly thing. Right. Like Friday night, I was in the aisle getting my wine.
Right.
And I got to this point where I realized none of the brands really resonated with me.
Makes so much sense.
So I didn't see myself reflected. So I was like, I wonder if I can make it myself. Literally Google, YouTube Academy. Right. Like I saw a bunch of people doing it and I was like, if they can do it,
you can do it.
Why can't I? Why can't I?
We've done more with less.
Exactly. So what started out, honestly, is just like a passion and just a passion project, so to speak. It really just became a dream to reality. Now, we've expanded. When I first started out, that's when I realized Uncle Sam doesn't play. Like you can't just sell what you making in your house. Like it don't work that way. But I had a lot of support. I had a lot of people who enjoyed what I was making. So I spent 2020, 2019 just legitimizing, doing what I need to do, and launched officially in the middle of the pandemic.
Wow.
September 2020.
Let's hit that hype bell for that. So you launched your own wine in the middle of the pandemic. What was that journey like?
We were still drinking
heavily.
Sales wasn't bad.
I got you. Right.
No,
I mean, people were home.
Yeah,
they had to make do. Everybody couldn't get to the store. Some houses only had a designated person to travel, and you were able to launch a product that was home friendly.
It was home friendly, but it's interesting because in this space, a lot of people are still very used to going to a store or somewhere like that. And a lot of the stores weren't up to speed to sell wine. So when I launched, the way I was able to do it was, hey, I got this wine club. Y'all can buy it directly to me. I'll drop it to your door. No contact, you know, like just trying to think creatively as an entrepreneur. Like, how do we make it work?
No, you made it work.
We made it work.
You've been making it work.
Yay.
So when you get your first, batch of sales, what's going through your mind? What is Nicole thinking about?
Okay, so the first time anybody buys it, like even still to this day when people try it, I'm always holding my breath. Like, I hope they like it, I hope they like it. And then like the smile or the expression like that, every time I'm like, oh.
That's it.
So it brings me so much joy. Like I really, really love it. It's so much love and passion put into this project and into this. They're my babies. Yeah. So I love it.
Babies in a bottle. I ain't mad at that. So tell me about this. So I don't drink wine, right? So I would need to know, like, I guess you have to be preaching to an infant. I see my mom and my aunts when they get their wine, some of them like sweet, some of them like this dry, some of them like whites and reds and all that. What is Her Wine giving the people?
So Her Wine is the Goldilocks of wine.
Okay.
So I agree. I think, you know, for me starting out, I was like the sweet Moscato girl. I'm in the club, give me Moscato. That was the thing, right? And then as you continue to drink and partake in certain things, your palate changes.
Okay.
So you start to, you know, kind of ease down the way to like in some drier wines. But for me, I think wine is just supposed to be whatever you like. I don't stick to the rules of it. What makes you happy is how you should drink it. But my wine specifically, it kind of falls in that middle range. It's not too sweet. It's not too dry. I have a full collection.
Okay.
So we have a peach wine. We have that's called Finally After 5.
Okay.
I have a red wine. That's my special blend that I curated. This one is called Mama Needs a Break.
Okay.
Yes, that one's 14% alcohol.
They say the redder the wine, the better the nap.
Hello, not better than that.
Gotcha.
It is smooth though. You're gonna feel real good. It's gonna get you where you're going.
Okay.
And then we have 2 bubblies.
Okay.
Yep. So I created a bubbly, that's my version of a Prosecco.
Okay.
And a bubbly rosé.
So that's the celebration time.
You know,
we can hear
what
the thing go.
There it is. Pop.
There we go.
It's
there we go.
Celebration of life.
Okay, so wine's a little different than liquor in that case. So, you know, I know when they drink brown, they want to frown. When they drink white, it's time to ignite. So I got you on the wines. We got a different feel of flavors.
The wine gonna make you feel fine.
There you
the
go.
wine's gonna get you in the vibe. Yeah, it's a smooth vibe.
There you go. Get you some her wine is what she's saying. Yeah. So as you go further into this venture, you start to get shelf placements, and now you're in restaurants. And how do those things come about? And how does it make you feel when somebody else is saying yes to her wine?
Man, you know, so getting into stores in general is not an easy process.
Right.
Like you can't just walk in and say, hey, put me up, you know, put me in, coach. So a lot of times you have to have a distributor that, you know, kind of believes in you, wants to pick up your product. So I actually got super fortunate. I got picked up by Kelly Family Distributors back in 2022, which was crazy because that was the same year that I was like battling breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
So like right when we did the launch party for, you know, being a part of the family, was the same, like that was October, which was my first October saying I'm cancer free. So it was so much amazing things happening. And from there, like we literally got into this hotel at the Battery. Okay. And I was like, oh yeah, hotels. Like it's just like every time, like Sugar Factory, Crew Wine Bar, we're at the Hyatt on the Polaris. Like it's just growing and growing.
That's
and the
amazing.
Names are crazy. So it feels it's like a dream. Like you really feel like I'm literally doing the thing I used to daydream about.
Wow. So you floating and you not even drinking. I like it.
I know. See,
I need the hype bell for that because you said something, and for those who may not be in Atlanta and understand the significance of some of the places, you're talking about being in a hotel right by the Braves Stadium, right in the heart of what's popping in Cobb County, where everybody's coming that has disposable income. You're talking about that's a high caliber of people coming that get to experience your wine and probably want to order again after they leave. So have you seen that traction, and how was that when you get to experience those things?
I think the coolest thing that's happened to me was being able to be at a tasting in another state and having people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I've tried your wine. Oh, I've heard about your wine. My cousin's in Atlanta. She raves about your wine. Like, I think it's just the coolest thing. I was out the other day and someone was like, hey, you're the wine lady. And I'm like, yep, I'll take that. So
I like it.
It feels really good, you know, to be able to see something that was an idea to bring it to fruition. And then now you have other people that support it, that rock with it and see themselves in it. Like it feels extremely rewarding, you know?
Definitely, man. That's what's up. And then when I see the packaging, the bottling, I mean, you competing with everybody up there on the shelf. Like you really standing out too.
I mean, we coming for the number 1 spot. Okay, we coming. Yeah, Atlanta's number 1 wine. Yes, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. Then you talk about your distributor, and I know Kelly Distributors. Everybody can't just get with them. So how did that happen? How did you guys find each other, and the relationship has blossomed to where you in all these spots?
Let me tell you, God has guided so many things in my life. I was introduced to Ricardo through just me reaching out, asking people like, hey, I think I'm ready, but I wasn't sure. And people were like, yo, you should just try it. Like, look into it. And I had 3 people reach out and say, you need to talk to this guy, Ricardo.
Right, because he popping.
Right.
Let's not sugarcoat it or wine coated, whatever you want to call it.
Right. But he was popping. And so everybody was like, yo, and I had my own self-doubt. I didn't think I was ready. So by the time we had the conversation, I feel like it was just immediate. Like we understood. He was like, this is what we're doing. This is the goal. And you got to rock with it. When someone's telling you like, I'm building legacy, I'm doing this for, you know, beyond just myself, but for my child and being able to create a space for us to build our own legacies. Like, what can I say but please, sign me up. But since then, we've been able to really become partners. Like, I think that's the one thing with a lot of brands, you can go either way. Like, you can go with the super big that's been around for decades, you know?
Right.
But are they really going to pour into you? Do they really understand what it takes to build something from the ground up?
Yeah. Sometimes you will be a number on the shelf or in a box instead of actually I can call that person, I can have a real conversation. My goals may change or they may have a different vision and we need to come to this, get on the same page. You feel like you have that.
Exactly. Like everybody can't just call their distributor and be like, hey, I got this idea. Can we talk? Sure, pull up, you know, but you gotta want it as well. So I think it's a great synergy for us to be able to grow our brands together.
I love that. Do you think, and I would think so, but do you think that has a lot to do with the succession of how it's moving?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you think about it, you know, just being real, you have a Black woman brand. And for me to go into a space and say, and I'm distributed by a Black veteran distribution company, like it's just a double whammy.
Yeah.
We check all the boxes.
All the boxes. Right. Need all the boxes and the shelf space.
And the shelf space. Put us
in the
up.
process. You also mentioned that you were battling breast cancer. What would you say to any women that may or may not have it, or just any words of inspiration or information that you would give out to say, hey, you need to be aware of your health and your surroundings?
There's so many lessons that were learned during that time frame, to be honest. My brand, so HER is actually an acronym.
Okay.
And it stands for Having Evolved Repeatedly.
Okay.
And so the idea there is that on this journey of evolution, I want women to be reminded that they deserve to pour into themselves just as much as they pour into others.
Okay.
So for me, that story came from the negligence of doing that. I was hustling, doing things for everybody else, going to all the events, all the meetings, still being a corporate woman, building my own side hustle that's now the full, you know.
Right.
But in that, I didn't take care of myself. So I neglected it. I didn't acknowledge the lump. I waited to the last minute, and that caused me to go through a stage 2 breast cancer diagnosis. So I got hit with the full
thing,
chemo, radiation, all the things, surgeries, right? But through that, I found purpose in that pain, because it's up to me to be able to determine, like, what's that determining point in your life where you decide, am I going to use this for my good, or am I going to allow this to take me out?
Right.
So for me, evolve or repeat. I chose to evolve. So my words of advice to, honestly, any woman that's feeling overwhelmed, feeling burnt out, feeling like they are just tired. I think that the aunties are tired.
Yes, the aunties get tired.
The aunties is tired. And because of that, you know, I want them to feel like you will find your light. Focus on your happiness. Put a little bit of time, intentionality into yourself. Changes the game.
Changes the game. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. I like that type of evolution and a self-evaluation to say, you know, I can do better. I'm going to continue to do better. I'm not going to let this temporary situation harm my future. Right.
Exactly.
And then you teaching along the way. So we appreciate all that Black girl magic you spitting right now.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you could go back and talk to Nicole right before you got on the phone with Kelly Distributors and Ricardo, what do you say to that, Nicole?
Man, I would tell that Nicole that to be bold. Don't be afraid. You got a good product. People rock with it. You're coming from the heart. It's not just like sometimes I think people get into stuff just for the money game. And the reality is the money is going to come whatever you do. It's the passion you put into it.
Gotcha.
So be bold, be brave, and just go for it.
That's what's up. Do you recommend more of us trying to get into spaces and show representation so we can get some shelf space?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually personally dedicated to helping 100 women create their own brands.
Woo.
We gotta diversify.
Yeah.
It's $370 billion in the wine industry.
Yeah, that's a lot of billions of dollars.
That's a lot of money to spread out amongst ourselves.
It is. My best friend, she sent me to the store to get wine. And once again, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm looking at this shelf and she like, get this and go to the middle, go to this and this and then look for this and look for that. I was so confused. I wish I could have said, I'm just going to get some HER wine because you're going to love it anyway.
Period. There
That's
it is, coming soon.
There you go. That's what's up. For those who now want to partake, they want to sip, they want to support, they want want to put themselves back into themselves, right? Pour up some of this magic. How can they do that?
Yeah, you guys, you can do it several platforms. So you can follow us on all social media at It's Her Wine.
Mm-hmm.
Go to herwines.com. You can see all the locations that we're at. And then also DM me, because I'm always looking. I want to be where you are. So if you don't see me in the store, DM me, say, I need you here, sis, and I got you. We'll make it happen.
Got you. From now, from not from when you started cooking up your own wine in the house,
this
but
is legit.
from when you from when you took that day and said, okay, I am going to be a wine person, right? Her Wine is a thing, and I want to distribute it. You got off the phone. You said, this is from start to go. What is that process like? Walk us through as far as like the time frame of that process.
So remember, I was saying, like, I started 2018 and had to take that break, right? I chose the longer route. There's a lot of different ways you can get into the wine industry. So I don't want anyone to hear this and get discouraged or feel overwhelmed by it at all or intimidated. But I took the longer route so that I would be able to have more flexibility in how I move and operate my business. But the real process is you decide what type of wine you want to create. You find a winery partner, and then you work with them to curate what style wine you want. So it really could be that simple. Now, there's all the legalities and all the sauce and red tape in between. But yeah, it's possible. It's very possible for you to do it without owning a winery, like a vineyard.
Yeah. I got you. So is that a dream one day to have your own vineyard?
Of course.
Okay, then.
Of course. But it's not going to be your typical vineyard. So y'all got to stay tuned, because this is about to be a complete paradise for the ladies.
Okay. We're going to have Chateau Nicole out here. I'm ready for it.
Chateau Alon, we're going to be like, okay, we got some competition. Yeah.
Right. That's definitely what's up, man. I really appreciate hearing this. And also, it's very motivating, because you never know what somebody's going through. We may have women listening to this thing and they're like, wow, I just went through that, or I may be going through this. You may have women that say, I need to check, get myself checked out. But there's also a future ahead of that. So sometimes we fear the unknown.
Very true.
Yeah. So you being a story that people can look at is very inspiring. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So y'all go ahead and get some of this Her Wine. If you're in the Battery, you know where to go. If you're online, you know where to go. But in the meantime, make sure that you follow her online. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
There we go, man. It's another Re-Show live right here, Magic 107.5, 97.5 broadcast from Media Campus West. We gone.
Who you with? Re. Yeah.